Hello, this is Rodney Gaylor from Rod's World. Uh, this is the fourth part of the four videos. On this video, I actually finish up the wood stand for the LED lamp and glue the lamp in and get the wiring of the blue lamp part, the LED, and have the finished product. So enjoy this video and thank you for watching them. Okay, I'm getting ready to cut this to size out here on my table saw. So, first cut. Okay, I just trued up my wood piece, so now it's back to being square on every side. So I'm getting ready to cut this out with a router. Okay, I made me a little router jig to hold my piece of wood. What I did is I just took a flat piece of wood, took a 1x, screwed a couple screws through the bottom side to the piece of wood here. So now I've got my edge. I know from the router blade edge to the edge of my router is 2 3/4. So that should put 2 3/4 here to here. So now it should give me a straight edge. I took this piece, screwed it from the bottom over here to where my blade will not hit it all. I'm off of it. So I actually took and put a screw on the bottom side up through the wood so it won't move, but I put it out here to where if I do router in there I won't hit the screw. I just did a little spot there to check my blade out, make sure how deep I was. But now I should be able to just cut this straight edge here, and then what I'll do is actually take it and turn the board over and do it again. I could put another piece of wood here, and then that way I could just bounce off of them and cut it. If you even wanted to do the square, you could do the 2 3/4 all the way around, and then you would have the perfect little square thing going on. I'm just going to take it and run it off this edge, flip the board, do it again, measure it, because it ain't, you know, that big a deal for me. Okay, what I did is, of course, I used my edge to cut here, and then I just free-handed it down the sides. Here's my line I still got to do, and I'll flip the board over to make a good straight edge. This was all just cutting out the middle so that I could just clean it out to the same depth, and I'll keep doing this down till I get the depth I want. I'd like to have it to go down about a 1/2 inch at least. So that when I glue it, it'll stay in there good. Okay, as you can see, let me blow this up. Camera. We're just a little bit deeper. Camera up here, and you can see where I still hadn't trimmed that one edge off, but that's looking good. I'm gonna go just a hair deeper, and then in the center of this I'm gonna put a groove so that I can put the light in it. So let's see what happens. Let me clean up these bad spots here I see that I didn't get. Okay, that's got this side pretty well done. That's the depth I want to get to. That's pretty deep. And then I still got to cut the track in the middle and then clean this edge up. So let me move my jig around to the other side. I just flipped the motor around. Now I've got 2 3/4 on this side going to my little mark. And then same way over here. So now I should be able to clean that edge up. Then I will take the actual part and put in here and see if it fits before I do anything else. I still got to cut that edge because I may have to shave just a hair more bigger. I don't know. I just draw the line around it, so we'll see. That should still be in the same spot it was. So I'm going to try to take every bit of that off at one time. But let me put my dust mask and my ear things back on. Okay, that should have trued up my ends. I still got to cut the corners out. And then it should slip right in. I'm going to cut that groove in the middle. I'll probably just go ahead and put my board in just a little bit, take this off and scoot it in to where it's right in the middle. Probably the easiest thing to do. Okay, this is the light I'm putting in it. It's a blue water LED light. I have them at the store. We sell the blue water LEDs for bass boats to stick on the rails and everything else. To light up different things. This is a blue one. So this is going to actually go right about, I want it scooted. Okay, I know this is the back side. I went and put my part, my clear piece, my lamp on there, and this is the back side. This is the front. So on the front, this needs to go all the way to the edge here. But on the back side, it don't have to. But I may go ahead and do it anyway, or at least come out so far so I can bend the cord down and all that. So well, I'll probably go to right here. So I'm going to stop the router about right there. This one I can go all the way till it touches. Because I want my light to be to the edge. Here's where the wood is. Here's where the features of all the crankbait and stuff is when you flip it over. Okay. And here's what I'm talking about. I just went and grabbed it so I could show. See, all the featured here will be coming up through at the back side. And it almost fits now. The corners are holding it off. But I may just go ahead and router just a hair out on each side and let it fall in because that looks pretty good. If you put it in there, well, see the gap I have if I do that, so I probably will just go ahead and shave a little bit of the corner. Okay, router out this. if my light fits in there. Good. Oh, it's gonna fit perfect. Right like that. And I'll do something with the cord underneath. So, looks good. I want that to be real close to the top. That way when I set this down on it, it's almost touching it with the light. And that looks pretty good. Now I just got to shave out the corners. And let this thing fall in, and then that'll be ready to be glued. I'm going to cut a pocket in the bottom. I'm going to router the edge off and go from there. Okay, what I'm going to do is go ahead and drill a hole in here so the cord can go out the bottom. And this will tell me, okay, I felt it go through. That'll tell me exactly where I need to put my router on the other side, which it should be pretty well center. And I just want to make a little pocket there to where when I wire it up, I can actually put the wire nuts and stuff that I'm wiring to it. Okay, let's take this thing back apart and flip this thing over. There's how I've got it put together on the back side. If I was smart, which I'm not, I could have put this right perfectly dead center, and then every time I moved it, I wouldn't have to just hit a hole anywhere, you know. See how I've put holes in it? That's okay. Well, I guess it didn't drill all the way through. Thought it did. It's okay, I'll poke it on through now. That ain't it. Yeah, we got her through. So that's where I want to end up for my router bit, to right in that area, and it can be wherever. This time I can't put screws here because I'll mess up my surface. I could hit it in here if I wanted to. I may just freehand it. Just sit here and router me out a circle, because that's all I have to do. No big deal. Freehand it. Okay. Let's kind of draw what I want first. That's the edge. Something like that. This is the back. So I'll probably drill me a little hole here through it so the cord can run out. It needs to be right there. I could notch it. Now I gotta make it deeper. Probably to the bottom of where I drilled. Almost there. Still got a lot of wood in between it. I still want to shave it the hair longer, deeper. Okay, I should have took it a little deeper. Okay, so you can see deeper than that hole, and I've got still plenty here. So I should be able to put some little old wire in it to solder it, hot glue it in. Good to go. Okay, that's the bottom. Now I still got a router edge. Sand it. Wire everything up, get the part to fit perfect, glass it, put some resin in there to stick it, and this thing will be close to being done. Okay, I'm going to cut my little corner edge. First one I'm going to do is just a little bit on there, and then I'll take it deeper. Okay. As you can see, it just rounded it off, but I want to go deeper. I don't want it just to be rounded off. Okay, with this cut, it should leave a little line on top too. You can see it's got a little cut, a little line around the edge, how I wanted it. Now I just got to sand this down. I believe that's all the edge I want. Actually, I'm going to take it down one more cut so it's a little bit more of a line that you can see, but not much. So let me take this down just one more time. Final cut. Hopefully I don't mess it up. Okay, as you can see, it routed it. Hardest part, it won't keep falling in the hole. Kind of do a tilt on me, so. I'm gonna hit this with some 80 grit. This is 220, and then I'm gonna come back to 220. Smooth it up. I'm gonna hand sand these areas here on that taper, that rounded edge. Get it looking good and true. Okay, I still got to sand this down to the 80 grit. I'm going to work this a little bit more here. Get that dark burns off of it from the router burning on it. I'm gonna do a real dark wood. Do a real dark wood on it anyway. Make it almost look walnut. Okay. Okay, I'm just taking, I took the whole thing and ran over it with that 80 grit. I put a new 80 grit pad on, sanding paper. Now I'm just cleaning the corners up with some 220 so they ain't so rough. Rounding them a little bit softer. Okay. Now this is my 220 that I had on. That's the 80 grit I got on there now, but I think I'll just hand do it. Let me move this camera so you can see a little bit better. That's a pretty piece of wood right there. That's the bottom. Where I cut it and flipped it, it's the same pattern, but it's going the opposite direction. And I glued it and composited it back. Okay, look at that. It's almost perfectly striped out. Looks like a sergeant stripes or something. The reason I didn't use my DA on it is because I just put that pad on. It ain't used enough to take it off and destroy it. I'll just hand sand it with some 220. There we go. Okay, now, only thing I need now is my corners cup shaved out, and then it should fit in there, and I'll be ready to hot glue that in, and we'll see what happens. Okay, I'm going to try this with my corners and see what happens. I may have to do something different. It's hard to see, I know. Let's see. Let's try this. Okay, that did change that shape. Okay, that did square them up some. Let's see if my part will fit now. When I say part, I mean lamp. So it is setting in there beautifully. That is good. That worked perfect. So them corners are shaved out. Now when I fill it up with resin, that'll be glued just like that. And it'll bring it all out level where it's glued. So wow, that's gonna look pretty good. I still want to stain this dark and go from there. Okay, this is the stain I'm going to use. I've been shaking it up. Should be good and shaked by now, but that's what I'm going to use. We'll see how dark this looks. Put multiple colors if I have to. If I can get it open. Okay, I actually forgot about my little on and off switch. So I'm going to put it on the front right here. So I got to put it in before I stain. I did open that up. Let me get it in there before I stain it. Make it look right. Should go right here. Okay, I just drilled the hole for my switch. Of course I didn't have a drill bit that big, so I had to take and shape it in, and my switch actually fits good, covers everything up. I had to put that little notch there. As you can see, I can push it on down, but I have to push it out. Here's where it's going to come in the back side with my wiring. That will be my hot wire going in and my hot wire coming out. That'll break the contact, so that should be fine on that. So now I'm getting ready to stain it. Get me some gloves on, open this stain up, and we'll stain it. Okay, for this little job I think a paper towel will do fine. We'll see. I don't think I'll need a brush or anything. Almost looks like walnut now, doesn't it? And the darker in here is better for the light to shine upward, I would imagine. So, get every little corner. I'm going to put some stain down in there to cover up any wood that may show. I've got some of the little stilt things here somewhere. Let's see. Go grab a couple new of them out. Yes, it is messy in here. Let's see here. One of my goodie drawers. Got all my paints and stuff in it. Well, that ain't what I'm looking for. There they are. Give me some of these guys. This wood's for another project. The reason it's in the way. We'll let it dry on these guys. Like so. Let's go back over it one more time. All the direction I want. Yes, I'm going to come back and want that the right way. What it's doing is falling inside that. It's falling inside of that. Hopefully when I put the resin over top of this, the fiberglass resin, and shine it all up with a good clear coat on it, it'll look even better. Okay, if I touch it anymore, I'll mess it up. Should be plenty on that one. Okay, let's let that dry. And we'll glue in that, composite it in, put the switch in, we'll have a lamp. Resin it one more time at the end. Okay, until next time. Okay, I'm ready to put my LED lights in. I've got a little 9-volt battery. I'm just going to test it to make sure it's the right color, because I got different colors of this. I'm wanting a blue. Let's see which one this is. And you can see it is the blue one, and it does all work. So yeah, it's going to work perfect. Now I'll go right to the end here. I need to hot glue this hole up so when I resin this, it won't run through my hole. So let me get the hot glue gun running. Then I can glue that down. So let me get this thing up and running. And I think I'll use my extension cord so I can reach it easier. Oh, that's a long ways down there. Okay. Let me get this glue gun going and I'll be ready to fill this up. Now I'm ready to stick this on and hot glue it in. My hot glue gun's hot and ready. And I want it right to the end, so I'm going to give it a little bit line out, just a little. And when I pull it through, it should suck all that glue down in there with my cord real good. Okay. I'll pull that down towards right like that. Okay, let me go ahead and pull this off. I'm ready to stick it, so start with that down there, right like that. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and fill that on up. It's going to be all up under the light, so I got it pretty well full. That should not leak. Okay, I should have smeared that down on it a little bit. I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of some of this cord. I don't need all that, it's just in the way. Just get rid of that. See, it's got glue coming out over here. Now don't. There it don't. That should double do it. Okay, looks good. Now I'll just have to mix me up some resin. I want to go ahead and coat all the outside with the resin too when I do it. I was going to tape it off, fill it up, gook it, pull it back out, but I'm not going to now. I think I can just go ahead and paint the whole thing with resin. Totally resin it out, put it in, and brush the outside and let it kind of self-level itself and make it shiny and pretty. Okay, so I need... Okay, I've got it glued in with the light. It's all dried, shouldn't leak any. I have put, I don't know if you can see, let me get my GoPro down here. I've put pieces of metal underneath instead of the little stilt things, like that thing over there. The little stilts, because this is so heavy, I want to set my solid base. And I should still be able to take my popsicle stick and go underneath it and scrape the bottom. So I should be able to clean up any kind of drips. But I did mix up some resin already. And now I'm ready to glue this thing in. It's a do or die thing here, I guess. We're gonna see what happens. I'm gonna go ahead and put some in the mold itself to glue it. And like I said, I'm not worried about the blue water LED light getting glue on it. I don't care, because it's going to be there for the life of the lamp. If it goes out, it goes out. Okay, now I do want to put a little glue on the bottom of the lamp, or on the bottom of this thing, the lamp part. Not a bunch, just a little. That way I'm guaranteed that it's going to bond. Okay. Now we know this is the front because this is where the plug, the rocker switch is. This is the front of the part. Nope, I've got the back. See this here? I did put it in there wrong after sitting there saying that. This is the front of the part. There we go. I was wondering why it wouldn't go in. Okay. I'll pull it up here since this is the front. And that's on there good. I do have it sitting on them pieces of metal. They do look like they're out of the way, so that should sit right there. No problem. Now let's just go ahead and wet out this top part, but let's let that drip down into the crack and fill up. So I'm wanting to push resin down in that crack and have it solid and not a gap. And it should go right down in there, self-level. Anything I get up on the side of it should slowly run down. I just want it pushed right up against it. Self-level itself. Okay, back here's a little bit more of a gap. I'll come back and clean all this up. I'm just trying to get it filled up in the edges right now. Push that resin down in there, let it fill up. I'm looking on this side and the camera's on the other side. What I was doing, I was filling this crack up here with resin. this side filled up good. Now I got to get this right here filled, right in this corner. See that corner? It's not got enough resin in it. Hold the camera. Just pushing the resin down in there to fill it up. I got it. Okay, now I just want to remove some of this resin so it ain't so thick. It won't run and drip so bad. This ain't been done yet. Like I said, it is a self-leveling resin, so it should smooth out real pretty. Unless you've got scales or something to do your mix, it's better to do a little thicker than trying to do a little thin. Like just pour a drop in there and pour another drop and trying to mix it up and make it hardener. What'll happen is you won't get it hard, and it'll actually, one side it'll stay gummy. It won't never cure good. So it's almost better to do a bigger pour and throw resin away than it is to, or if you got jewelry or something you like doing, just have it ready to pour into something like that. You can save your resin that way, but you ain't wasting it, and then it'll kick good. Every time I try to mix up just a little smudge or something, that's when it don't kick right, and then I've got to go back and scrape it off or whatever and then redo it. It's better to just do it better. Okay, that looks like it's all filled in good. I'll take the torch and flash off of it to get any air bubbles. I do see some air bubbles popping on this side, just coming out of the mold from underneath coming up. I did, use a brush up doing this job, but that's okay. I get them by the case, so that is a lot of resin to throw out. But let's torch this thing off and see what we got. Try not to catch my paper towel on fire. Probably should have had plastic under it instead of the paper towel, but that's where I had the wood under it. Forgot to move it. So I'll try not to anyway. Okay, I'm back with my wire nut. I'm gonna give myself just a little bit more wire on these two. Okay, felt that go in. Wrong one. Okay, that's good. Okay. break my lamp. Broke the lamp before I ever used it. Okay. That should work. Now we just got to get the switch in there and also plug it up. You want it to be. That don't look right. I think it's this way. Nope. This is the way. Get off phone. Okay. Fun part's gonna be plugging this thing up, but I believe I can force these lines through here and plug it up. Coming in. Okay. I think before I shove it in, I'm going to plug this up and turn the switch on and off, see what happens. I may have to do something different on it. It shouldn't, but we'll see. Real quick. Well, it came on. I shut it off. That's what it should do. Perfect. Well, I had to take and just shave out some of that resin that was in there. It's just a little bit. I believe I've got it working now. So let's plug her back up, shove her in. Sure, it's good. There we go. Get her good and straight. There, she's getting straight. Okay. Now we just got to put the cap on it. I believe we're good to go. Let me go grab the cap and screw it on. And I put the little rubber pieces on. Well, now the only thing I got to do is put the cap on. There we go. It looks perfect. See what happens. That one looks good. I done pre-drilled it and had it ready. Should be good. Okay, that's below the level. Now I've got a couple of these little rubber pieces put on the bottom. Keeps it from sliding around and keeps it scratching up my other furniture. Put me 4 of these bad boys on. Okay, let's try to plug her up, see what happens. Let's look at her real good and turn her on and off. Put her with my saw. And I'll go in there and put her where I want to put her on the furniture part. Oh, it's done lit up. There we go. Okay. Okay, this is in daylight, sunshine. It's about 11:30 in the morning. There's the lamp lit up, so it's where I wanted to put it was right here. I'm gonna lower these blinds and kind of film it. That made it a little darker in here, not much. As you can see, lights up real well. And I'll do a close-up on it. I'm gonna put my phone on. Film it also. Get a little closer with it, so. Okay, here's what it looks like. Closer with it, so. Okay, here's what it looks like. A little hard to see the little crawls in there, but there they are. It's supposed to look like it just splashed into the water right by its stump. It would be under the water. Barely see the crankbait. And then the back side is, get it around a little bit. Crankbait suspended forever. And pretty wood pearl look on it. As you can see, the little rubber pieces I put on the bottom done great. Don't move around or nothing. And I got those at Home Depot that I bought for furniture, and it was in there with it. I've used it several times. And there it is. And of course, this is another painting with puzzles. I flipped it over so the frame wouldn't warp on that. But this is my little area I want to put it in with my puzzles that I've done. Put it in the painting on trips. So it kind of decorates that little area up. So that finished that up. I do have photos on trips sitting here so somebody could go through it if they visit us. So a little lamp. Shut it off. You can actually see the little crawls and stuff probably better. During the daytime with it on there. And I'll go over what I think the good things, the bad things, what I'd do different on this lamp. Okay, if I build another lamp in the future, what would I do different? I would probably go with a thicker, so my wood piece would be thinner. So where this is so thick, I believe it's too thick. It takes too many layers of pour to get it done to where I wanted it. Each time you pour it, you can make a mistake. So, I mean, I would rather do it in a couple pours instead of 4 pours or 5 pours. So, I would probably do a thinner piece of wood. This is the size I was looking for when I started. So, I can't complain on it being what I thought when I started. The wood that I used was out of a log. You seen me cut it up. You could go out and buy you a piece of wood if you wanted to. I went with the from scratch through it all the way from the beginning to all the way through. I didn't mind that. The piece of wood I did have a lot of cuts and stuff in it that I filled up with the pearl look of resin, seal it up. Anytime you've got any kind of air in it, it causes problems because it wants to bubble back out. So if you had a wood that was more pure, that didn't have as much cracks, I didn't mind the cracks because the pearl that was in it really looks good. So I mean, I could see this being the front with all the pearl and everything. I guess it looks better here than it does on camera, probably. But that wasn't bad about the little cuts and the stuff in it, because they do a lot of wood with the cut in it. But I would probably thin it up so it'd be easier to pour, not use as much resin. Number 2, I used the crawls. I don't know if you can see this. Let me get my camera right. The crawls, I used those as a bait that was at the store, and since it was a hollow body crawl, air bubbled out of it the whole time until it done, so I had to patch up a couple spots. I would probably not use live. There used to be live critters. I would probably use an artificial something. If I would even do it crawling again, I might would just do the crankbait for a fishing lure or something in there with a piece of wood for the pretty, to make it real pretty, and not even do the decorations of all that. You could just have done a piece of wood and a crankbait or a worm or something you really like using, and you could have made it out of it, and it'd been a whole lot easier. Far as the grass and the moss and stuff I put on it, did not like the red stringy stuff. I bought it a pack of stuff at the Hobby Lobby, and I probably wouldn't have used the red stringy stuff. The bad thing, I guess the good thing, I guess you could say, is when you're fishing, you get little stringy stuff on your baits all the time from grasses and stuff where you're cranking. So this kind of stuff is in the water. That's the reason I did it. But the moss stuff did pretty good. It does collect little bubbles, which don't look bad when you're looking at it, so that ain't bad. But now the crankbait itself, I used a balsa wood crankbait. This is a Rapala or Rapala, however you want to say it, DT6, and it is balsa wood. And I didn't think that it actually drip air out of it, but it did right here. It would actually gassed off, and I had to patch it up. I would probably go with a something hollow plastic or something if I did a crankbait again. But this is one of my favorite crankbaits that I use all the time. It's the reason I like it. I've got a lot of fish on this crankbait, on one like this, so that's the reason I used it. I might use a hollow belly like a Strike King or something that's hollow, and then drill a hole and fill it up with resin, and then pour it into a thing, into a mold, into a part, a lamp. But other than that, I mean, as far as the light, that looks good. I could have used green or blue. I like the green better. I mean, the blue better. The green made it look like dirty water or something, where the blue looks cleaner water looking. Even though our lake here at Watts Bar is more of a greenish look, I just thought the blue lit it up better, so I would stick with the blue. The wood down here was oak. It did fine. Everything did good on it. I did put the clear resin on it. The next time I would probably put the Krylene shiny, over top of it instead of the resin. The resin just looks like it's real wet looking. I think it's almost too shiny. It would need to be flatter like this wood with a shine gloss, I think. So I would probably do that to the wood. And I would have probably, this is a stain I put on it. You've seen me do the stain. I probably should have got it more this color, which is a little shade darker, more of a darker than this. I might would have done that different. As far as anything else, I would probably stick with everything the same except for the thickness of the wood. So I don't have as many layers of pour. I don't know if you can see. There was my first. I don't know if you can kind of see the layers of pour. Like right there. Let's see. Right there is my first layer. Where I did my first layer of pour. And then I filled up so much of it. And then I did. You know, there's one of my last pours right here. It's above the. But now I did do what I wanted to do on the wood where the resin is around the wood. So I've got a thick layer of resin and it ain't just wood showing. I wanted to do that when I done it to where it looked like you didn't just look at the wood like this down here. It was embedded also. Like it was in water. That's what the whole purpose was. So, I mean, I wouldn't have changed too much. Maybe a couple of things. But it turned out overall pretty well. I'm not disappointed in it or anything. I'll use it. I might build more in the future. This was my first one. Worth a try. I like it. It looks good. I think it'd be a good talking thing to, you know, show people. I may take it to the store and leave it there for a while and let people look at it there at the outdoor store I have. So until next time.